Welcome to our interactive workshop. Before us, we have the opportunity to view 12 very special, unique images of individuals, females and males, by Olga Sheymov, who has created these images from her soul, from her spirit. And we have the opportunity today to share in what she has communicated with us. We have the opportunity to look at each one of these, observe what it is that each one of these images gives to us, just as the artist did when she created them. And what's so special about a grouping like this is that each individual portrait is unique to themselves. The artist has created them from her inner soul, her inner spirit, her creativity of giving a vision of feelings, emotions, a personal state. And we, the viewers, will bring to each one of these our reaction, what we have in our own emotional state at the moment, our socioeconomics, our history, our heritage, our personal experiences, and how each one of these individual images will reach out to us in a unique way, and that we can find the universality in facial expressions, because facial expressions are a huge part of how we communicate with other people, whatever role we're in, a working role, a friendship role, an international role, a spouse, a daughter, a son, a close person in our lives. And so that these will speak to us, and we have the opportunity to do this journey together.
Hi. I was asked to look at these pictures and describe what their mood is and what they would be saying. And I found myself sort of comparing different pictures together. For example, these two, I described her as being interested, like she was like looking at some guy over there. And this guy looks like he's also has sort of the same feeling. I said alert, like he was like shopping. He's like, I found it, or I saw the one I was looking for. Other ones, I saw her as angry. Her eyebrows sort of like looking at someone sideways, like, what is he up to? Authoritative, like he's a lecturer in some school and he's like about to give his presentation. She's sleepy. She's had a hard day, although she's enjoying herself. He's also sleepy. I actually had several of these. I initially had her as sleepy. That's why I was comparing her sleepiness with his sleepiness with hers. And I decided that maybe she was not as much sleepy, but maybe a little romantic, like, could you come upstairs with me? Like looking at her husband or something. He's just sad. That's not the husband. She looks like a businesswoman that first day of job, I'm very alert. Okay, where do I start? And this guy's up to something. I don't know what, but he has that, yeah, you can trust me, sure. Look about him. I think that covers it about. This one's, she's amused by something. I think she saw a cute kid doing something, or a puppy dog, and she's like, look at him. And that's about it. That's my my whole impression of the art. It was quite interesting comparing the different art pieces. A fairly wide range of emotion. Thank you.
This workshop was very interesting for me to see all these beautiful pictures done by the artist. I find that all of these pictures have a lot of depressive feeling. There's not, to me, one picture which shows happiness in any way or form, but it shows in each picture, these are 12 pictures, the way we live our lives and experience our lives. If I go through the different pictures, number 21, I find it very contemplating. She tries to listening and is still not sure what she will do in the situation she's in. Number 2 is there, this guy, to me, is very depressive and pensive. Number 23, she is serious pondering and accepting the situation, whatever it might be in her life situation. Number 4, I find him, he's very lost in his thought and disguises actually his face that he doesn't really want to show his emotions and is in deep trouble. 25, she's in her very quiet in her own way and seems to be very artistic. Number 26, he's trying to understand and is very destructive of what to do in the situation he is in. 27, skeptical but listening and ready to accept. I think she has a very clear face, opened her eyes and is ready to listening. 28 is wants to be accepted, wants to be how to handle his situation. He seems to be a little bit on the depressive side. 29 is a beautiful woman, but she is serious, questioning her life situation and hopes to find an answer. The number 30, the young man, I think, is doubting, very introvert. In a way, he's dreaming, but he doesn't trust anybody around him. He must have had very bad human interactions. 31 is dreaming, preoccupied, and self-assuring. And number 32, she is frightful, scared, and doesn't really know what she will be doing. Thank you.
Between the things which I love in my life, people's faces are one of my favorites, because it's possible to create the whole stories about these people, about each of them, and at the same time maybe some stories about the moment when eye of artist caught them and tried to catch the expression of these faces. And all these faces, they give us some feelings about how the world of human feelings rich and different and powerful way to understand each other. I would like to talk about this portrait because I think that it's this face of somebody who working as artist or poet or musician, because very thin features and a lot of feelings hidden under this skin. And I think this face allows us to remember one great novel, Portrait of Dorian Gray. This face so beautiful, so attractive, but we don't know what the hidden feelings under this face, and maybe even horrible crimes under this face. So you can create your own fantasies about this portrait. And the same about this beautiful woman, portrait number 29. She looks so deep thinking about something, and we don't know what the plans she's building in her charming head. Maybe these plans about her future party or her future lover, or how to hide her love story from her husband. It's possible to create any fantasies about this face and about the plans which she had in her head. And this portrait number 30, this expression of anger, I think, and it's possible to see that bad feelings make people's faces bad looking. So maybe it's a lesson for people just to keep your face smiling, even if you have some negative feelings about something. And this charming face as well, very interesting, because you can think about her as a person who enjoys her life at this moment. She absolutely in her own world. At the same time, she enjoys the gifts which her lives bring her. And I think she looks like some Asian princess for me. Very beautiful face. That's it. Thank you.
So I'm struck by and fascinated that many of our first impressions about the moods of these portraits by Olga Vladi are very similar, and that fascinates me. So my first impression, starting with 21, is contemplative, and then distressed, and a long-standing distressed, and number 23, strong-willed, 24, suspect, 25, sorrowful, 26, annoyed, 27, looking forward with optimism, 28, open to communicate, 29, worried, 30, judgmental, 31, fanciful, and 32, wistful. And it occurred to me as I was then trying to go back and tune in and take a guess at what we were asked to say, if this portrait could talk, what that might be. And it occurred to me as I was writing these things down, I felt like I was making them up, but then in some instances it really seemed to stick. So starting up here, I wish for peace, for gentleness, for more caring. 22, I am still hurting, and I have been hurt. 23, look at me, listen to me, this is important. 24, I know there is more to the story, here's what. 25, my sadness has deep roots. 26, I can't believe this is how it is. 27, I know this to be true, there is goodness, I have many examples. 28, I'm listening to you fully and I have a thoughtful response. With 28, 29, it has not been easy. 30, this is unacceptable, and this is why this is disturbing. And 31, this feels good to pause and imagine my past and my future. And 32, many things happened, and I'm still standing strong as I can. So I really enjoyed doing this, and I felt compelled to look more closely at art and images that I see on a daily basis and tune into what they're causing me to feel. So thank you.
Well, as we've already seen, everybody has had a look at all of these portraits and recorded their impressions on the sheet. And what this shows is that facial expressions are a common way that people communicate nonverbally. And it's very common in all societies, in all cultures around the world, for this to be the case. So as it's been said, a smile is understood in any language. But in addition to that, we're also able to communicate other emotions as well. Now, how we actually see these portraits is a function also of ourselves, our set, our experience, what we're bringing to this. The artist has given us an opportunity to be able to react to these portraits in a way that possibly communicates what her intention was, but that's not necessarily what every one of us takes away from this experience. So for instance, just in my own experience with some of these portraits, I was struck by this one here, this number 30. I thought that person was communicating a very stern, very authoritative look, and something that was, if this portrait could talk, would be, he could have been saying, that's what I expect you to do, or this is what I thought you would think. On the other hand, this portrait here looks like a musician to me, somebody who's playing music. At the time, Olga captured this portrait, and he's saying, well, maybe not verbally, but what he's communicating is, I'm doing this for you. This is what I'm sharing. This is my skill, my gift to you. So as everybody reacts to these, you can see that there's a range of emotions in how people are perceiving what has been communicated through the portrait. And they, as Laurie said to begin this, there is no right or wrong answer. Everything is subjective.
If portraits could talk, what a variety of comments from these participants. You've probably heard, a picture is worth 1,000 words. These portraits, these faces that were produced by the artist all of them, right over here, here, and here. They're all speaking to us. And it's fascinating how all of the participants found some similarities but differences. And if only we had time to talk about what is it that's in each face that brought people to think, oh, this is sadness, this is joy, this is sternness. Because what's the next step of this is what is it about each of these portraits that makes someone respond to a face like this with joy, with sadness, with youth, with innocence. That's the part that the artist makes it so special and so unique. We're all unique in the way that we absorb the feelings, the mood, the images that are created by the artist. But to have the artist here and to talk about some of the techniques and what is it about the eyes that creates a certain mood? What is it about the placement of the eyes, what direction they're looking? All the different lines that are created here by the artist. They aren't just faces, but look what we have. We have wonderful dynamic lines that face and pedestal the faces that we have here, and the images, the lights, the darks, the wonderful swirls that this artist gives to us that has also created the response that we all have had in such a unique and different way.